I recently sold my TV and I don't plan to buy a new one. If you would know me for a long time, that would probably really surprise you because I used to watch a lot of TV. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of cartoons, and then later in my teens I watched a lot of trashy reality TV shows and action movies. And then later in my early college years, I watched a lot of documentaries and also a lot of movies and TV shows. So in short, I watched a lot of TV, usually at least 3 hours a day, and I'm not alone with that. The average American spends around 4 hours watching TV every day. That's 1,500 hours per year. So in other words, people spend around 60 days per year or 2 months per year watching TV. And that's a lot of time. And time is a limited resource. It's what makes up our lives. An hour that passes is an hour that will never come back. When we are born, we are given a certain amount of time, and when it's gone, it's gone. It feels like life is very short, but that is actually not true, at least according to Seneca. In his book On the Shortness of Life, he writes, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." So our life is long enough. It is long enough to do the things that we want to do, and it is long enough to live a meaningful life, but we really can't waste any of it. Watching TV costs us not only time, but also attention. We can't fully focus on multiple things at a time. Our brains are just not made for it. And TV programs are actually specifically designed to capture attention as well as possible. That's how TV networks make money. They capture your attention and then they sell it to advertisers. So while you are watching TV, your mind is not really free. You can't think about the things that you want to think about. You're in a way trapped. But I believe that to live your life fully, you must really be fully in the present moment. With that much time spent in front of a TV, we also really have to talk about the opportunity cost that is associated with that. So in other words, time that you spend watching TV is time that you can't spend on other things. So 1 hour of watching TV is 1 hour that you can't use to pursue your goals or to read or to meditate or to spend time with your loved ones and your friends. That is something that I thought a lot about. So I asked myself, how much healthier would I be if I would spend 1 more hour every day exercising? Or how much happier would I be if I would spend 1 more hour every day meditating? How much more knowledgeable and wiser would I be if I could spend 1 more hour every day reading? And how much could my relationships improve if I could spend 1 more hours every day with my loved ones and be fully present with them? Those were some of the questions that I asked myself, and I came to the conclusion that yes, I do enjoy watching TV and it gives me some value, but there are so many things that are a lot more important to me. And these things tend to fall behind when I spend such a large chunk of time every day doing something that is not connected to my deepest values. And that was the second big reason for me to sell my TV, my values. I think that it's incredibly important to know your values because they serve as kind of a North Star for you. They can bring clarity to you when you don't know what to do, and they can guide you through your life. But sadly, TV and pop culture in general often portray values that I personally don't find very helpful. There often is a lot of violence and greed and anger and revenge and all these things that we actually don't really want in our lives. And these programs portray the world as a dangerous place and people as just obstacles that you have to overcome on your way to success. Those are things that are exciting, so they sell well, and that's why there is a lot of content like that out there. And then of course there are the commercials where you are told that you are not good enough and that you only need to buy this one thing to finally be complete. There's this saying that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, and I think it's really undeniable that the influences that you surround yourself with have a great impact on you. At least I feel that I'm affected by it. I feel like I'm a little bit less compassionate after watching a violent movie, and I'm a little bit more consumerist and greedy after watching certain shows or movies. So when I spend hours every day being confronted by these messages, it distracts me from what is really meaningful to me. And it instills me with what Johann Hari calls junk values. In his book Lost Connections, he talks about a scientific experiment that was done by scientists in Canada in the 70s. They divided a group of 4- and 5-year-olds into 2 groups. One group was shown TV commercials for a specific toy, and the other group was shown no commercials. And then they gave the children a choice. They told them, "You have to choose to play with one of these 2 boys. You can play with this boy who has the toy from the commercials, but he isn't nice, he's a mean boy. Or you can play with this boy who is really nice, but he has no toys." And most of the kids who had seen the commercial actually chose to play with the mean boy who had the toy, while most of the kids who hadn't seen commercials chose to play with a nice boy who didn't have any toys. So watching commercial made these kids choose a piece of plastic over human connection. When I look around, I see a lot of people who are a lot like the kids that chose to play with the mean boy with a toy. They work a job that they don't enjoy and that isn't in line with their values, so they can afford a nice car and they can afford a nice big house, but they neglect their families, they neglect their friends, they neglect their own health, and they forget what is really important. And I sometimes catch myself becoming one of them. I think that it's very easy to become like that, and we have to be very careful about the influences that we allow into our lives. We have to make sure that we nurture our values and that we remove distractions. Advertisers and TV producers don't care if we are happy and healthy, they just want us to buy stuff. So I think we need to protect ourselves from corporations that care more about our buying power than our well-being. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great movies and there are a lot of great TV shows out there, and I do enjoy watching something every now and then. I still have a Netflix subscription and I watch a show or movie about once a week or so, but I found that over time, as I started to become more intentional about the way I spend my time and also about the influences that I allow into my life, I started to watch less and less TV, until I went from watching 3 to 4 hours every day to about 1 hour per week. So at some point I decided to store my TV in the basement and instead spend my evenings spending time with my girlfriend or reading a book. I recently moved and I thought about setting up my TV again, but then I thought that no, I don't want to go back to the way it was before. So I decided to sell my TV. I don't think that you have to get rid of your TV to live an intentional life, but you have to be very intentional about the things that you choose to watch. Because when you own a TV, it's very easy to just watch whatever is on, and it's very easy to fall back into bad habits. I mean, most living rooms are designed to watch TV. There's a couch facing a TV, so most living rooms are not really living rooms, they are TV rooms. But I want a living room. To me, that's a room that is centered around the things that I want to spend my time with, like having conversations with people that I care about or reading a good book. Now, if you would like to be a little bit more intentional about the way you watch TV, but you don't feel like you're ready to sell your TV or you don't want to sell your TV, then there's something very easy you can do. You just unplug your TV every time after watching something, and then you only plug it back in if you can name a specific movie or a specific show that you want to watch. That way you can make sure that you only watch things that you choose to watch and you don't just watch mindlessly. If you want, you could even pack away your TV in a closet and then only take it out once a week or so for movie night. I talked a lot about watching TV today, but this video is not really about watching TV. It's more about being intentional about the way you spend your time, and it is about being intentional about the influences that you allow into your life. And that also includes other activities like spending time on your smartphone or your work or hobbies that you pursue. It's always important that you are very intentional. And it's not like there is a right and a wrong way to spend your time, it's just that you have to be intentional how you choose to spend it. If you are someone who's really into movies and you get a lot of value out of watching TV, out of watching movies, then that's perfectly fine. There's no need for you to get rid of your TV if you don't want to. It's just one thing that I found very helpful that frees up a lot of time for things that are more important to me and to remove some of the influences in my life that I don't want. Okay, that's it. That is everything that I wanted to say on this topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and let me know in the comments down below what's your favorite way to spend your time. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys if you want in my next video.